Prudence column. I wish I'd come by in the summertime as opposed to right before one of the most stressful times of year when everyone's traveling and visiting family and trying to make things perfect. But yes, that one was so sad. She came down with the flu and she wondered, should I still try to host everything? Is it my fault? Should I be trying to arrange my own replacement? And she, I think, mostly just needed permission to say, I am sick. I don't want to get any of you sick, and we're going to have to figure something else out.
Yeah, which seems to be the right answer, right? Don't stand on ceremony too much. Of course, the relatives are coming, they're flying in from Kansas. They're going to stay with you, then it's another story. But she had a very capable husband, apparently, because she offered that as another option. My husband will prepare the Thanksgiving dinner, and I'll check into a hotel to be sick by myself. Did you like that one?
Sounds like an ideal situation, although, of course, you hope she doesn't get anyone at the hotel sick. So maybe there's not a perfect answer to any of this. But yeah, nobody wants a side of the flu with their Thanksgiving dinner. I think that she was right to step aside from food preparation duties.
Hotel workers' lives matter, says Dear Prudence. So for listeners who'd like to ask Mallory Ortberg, a.k.a. Dear Prudence on Slate, for advice about anything Thanksgiving relationship oriented or holidays in general, 212-433-WNYC, 433-9692 for the next few minutes here. And Pat in Manhattan has one. Hi, Pat. You're on WNYC.
Hi, how are you? I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My son just started a new job about 4 months ago, and my son and I both know the people, on a friendly level, and he was wondering, he asked me, should I buy them a holiday gift as an employee to an employer? And I wasn't sure how to answer it or what kind of general or generic gift he could get them that doesn't say, hey, this is very personal, but it's a sort of a thank you for hiring me.
Wow, you have an incredibly thoughtful son, Pat.
Yeah, he is. He is very thoughtful. And I was kind of surprised when he asked me, because I said, gee, I've been at my job 30 years, so my employer people have changed, so you don't really get, too intimate with one boss, and you don't really, that's just not the culture. But this is sort of a different thing. He's kind of working as a team, and these are his older veteran team members that brought him into the fold. So he wants to make it sort of like thank you, but also a holiday gift.
So that's really thoughtful of him. I know it's not customary for employees to buy employers a gift. Usually if there's any gift giving at the workplace, it's done in a downward direction if it happens at all. So he's certainly not under any obligation to do it. But if he feels like there are really unusual circumstances or he's just really excited about working with them, I think something like a nice card and something edible but not super perishable would be really nice and wouldn't break the bank. Like, he certainly shouldn't get them anything very expensive. So maybe a nice kind of coffee if they're big coffee drinkers, or some really fancy tea. Something that they could maybe keep in the office that feels appropriate and not too personal.
All right. Sounds like good advice, Pat. I'm going to give somebody else a shot here. Thank you very much. Good luck to you and your son. 212-433-WNYC if you have a Thanksgiving or holiday season advice question for the new Dear Prudence from Slate, Mallory Ortberg.
I hope all of these questions are just, my relatives have great jobs and want to do something nice for people that they like, and everything is great.
We should all have such problems. 212-433-9692. And John in Westchester, you're on WNYC. Hi.
Hey, Brian. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Thank you. I love your show.
Thank you.
Here's my situation. My brother-in-law recently got diagnosed with cancer, and my family, which includes my wife and my 2 teenagers, are going out to one of the cities where Black Lives Matter protests are going on. Unfortunately, my 2 brothers-in-law have expressed at times racist views, and I'm concerned about trying to avoid stirring the pot if those issues come up. I know politics comes up a lot as far as the Thanksgiving faux pas, but I'm just looking for a little bit of, I guess, comfort in hearing that maybe I should stand down in this one, since I've got somebody with a serious medical condition, and that's going to be the focus of the Thanksgiving.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot going on from cancer to racism. I'm so sorry about your brother-in-law.
Thank
Is
you.
he gonna be at the Thanksgiving dinner with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, certainly I would hope that with somebody with cancer at the dinner table, people wouldn't be trying to bring up really controversial subjects. You
Yeah.
know, it sounds like you're planning on kind of keeping him the focus of some of your attention, and hopefully they can do that as
I
well.
want to very much. My problem is that as time has gone on with my relationship, and this has been a 20-year marriage, which, thank knock on wood, has been through trials and tribulations, but is going well. I found myself wanting to make a statement, but I don't feel like this is the time to do it. And I'm just trying to remind myself to be cool about this, and we can have a conversation privately, I guess, with my children about what's going on in the city that we're visiting.
Yeah, no, I think you're already thinking through this really thoughtfully, which is great. And I think you're right that Thanksgiving, especially when someone's just been diagnosed with a serious illness, is just not a great time for anyone to talk about something serious like racism, even if it's something that you want to talk about on some other time. Do you have the kind of family situation where, like, if things get pretty rough, you can say, I'm going to take a quick walk around the block, and that's okay?
Well, that's the problem, is that once one does that, if I do that, the conversation kind of ends. So I think we also have a nephew who just got engaged, so there's a lot of joy and happiness with that, and they're going to be there as well. It's an interesting situation, and certainly the purpose of the trip was right after we found out about the diagnosis, we decided that it was time to get back out there. So we're doing it. I will just try to be mindful and not focus on the negatives in the world, and try to be cool about it. So I appreciate it.
Well, and the nice thing is you've got some great stuff you can redirect. If stuff starts heading in a really fight-oriented direction, you can just ask your newly engaged relative some more questions like, hey, tell me again, like, how you proposed. That must have been so cool. So at least you have some conversational redirects that you can rely on.
John, good luck. Happy Thanksgiving. You had a column about, answering a question from somebody with a sick husband that I thought was really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
The guy is slowly dying of Parkinson's disease, she says, and the wife has done everything in her power to care for her husband, and she's angry at him for not trying alternative therapies. What to tell her?
That one was really challenging. He had been diagnosed, I believe, something like 15 or 20 years ago, and she kind of was just asking for, he's at a point now where he's no longer mobile, he can't work, and she felt like there had been a lot of, like you said, alternate therapies, not like homeopathy, I should stress, like, medically sound practices that could have been helpful to his physical mobility. And she felt like he hadn't availed himself of them, and was just at a point now where, she was saying essentially, I can't tell him these things anymore. He's at a point where he needs me, but I'm so angry and frustrated. I don't know how to care for him in a way that doesn't make me feel like I'm going crazy.